Hi everyone, it's Mike here. So don't forget to click that subscribe and bell icon to receive a notification each time I upload a new video. Hi everyone, it's Mike here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So after I created my previous art journal page with the bumblebee on it, using those kind of autumny kind of colours, I thought, you know, it's been such a long time since I've made any artist trading cards. I've made plenty of the round ones, the circle ones, but I've not made any square ones for quite some time, that I thought I would actually have a go using those colours and the same kind of spritzers to create the backgrounds for those art journal pages for the artist trading cards, not coins. God blimey, I think I need to wake myself up a bit. There you go. Right, so to create the backgrounds for the artist trading cards, I've also got a set of stamps, leaf stamps, that were sent to Ian recently in Happy Mail. I know, it makes a change, and he's passed them on to me. These are photopolymer stamps in the shape of leaves, and I thought I would incorporate those into the design of the artist trading cards. So to start off with, what I've done is I've cut a piece of mixed media cardstock, and I've cut it at 10.5 inches, which gives me 3 rows at 3.5, and I've cut it at 5 inches, which also gives me 2 at 2.5 inches. So 2.5, 2.5 by 3.5 by 3.5 by 3.5. So I'll get 6 artist trading cards out of this one piece of cardstock. So to get started then, I've brought out of my Spritzy collection, I've got lemon, orange, lime green, and I've got brilliant red, which are, I think, nice kind of autumny colours. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the lightest colour first. And I'm just going to grab a little piece of kitchen towel, another piece of kitchen towel. And the last time I sprayed the yellow, I did get a little bit of an uneven spray. Make sure there's nothing on that. For this time, I'm just going to go quite high up, and then I'm just going to spritz down, making sure that I kind of get everywhere, at least somewhere on the page. And then I'm going to heat dry between layers. Ooh. Okay, so that yellow is dry. What I should have done, probably, is taken a temporary tape runner and just, if it will allow, if it's strong enough, just to hold it down onto that backing. Don't stop it from curling up too much. Yeah, that's just going to help it a little bit. Okay, so the next I'm going to grab the orange, and again I'm just going to wipe the nozzle, and this time I'm going to spritz into the areas around where we didn't get much of that yellow. Now remember, these are going to get cut up into 6. Right, so let's get that dried. Okay, so that's the orange dried. That tape didn't really do much at all. I didn't want to tape it down to my worktop because I'd have ended up with a border on some of the edges. That's not what I was after. So it's looking kind of nice at the moment. I did say we're going to go work light to dark, but I think actually I'm just going to go back in with a little bit more of that yellow, just to reinvigorate, because that's dried a little bit paler than I wanted it to. So again, I'll just quickly get rid of that. I'll dry off the yellow. Okay, I think all that yellow is dry. I can't see any more shiny spots. Ah, there's just one there on the edge. There you go. So I'll just remove that. So the reason I've got tissue paper underneath is just to help keep my worktop as clean as I can, well, as clean as you can when you're using these kind of spritzers. Okay, so let's go back in again with a little bit more of that orange. This time, concentrate a few other areas. Just let it soak for a second and then dry. Okay, we've got a few little wet spots again. I'm just going to lift those off with that piece of kitchen roll. Okay, I'm kind of happy with the colour on that. So now I'm going to come in with the lime green, and I'm going to just very gently just go in with a little bit of the green. Not a lot, so that it's kind of a subtle colour in the background. As with most of these projects, it is 90% drying time. And then again, I'm going to come in just with that brilliant red. I'm just going to quickly give it a test. Yeah, that's fine. And then I'm just going to add some little areas of that red in the background. Okay, so we're getting somewhere. I think I can take that off there because it's not really doing much. I'm going to flip it over and this just kind of try and roll the card back out again because it is starting to buckle quite a bit, and then I'm going to come back in again with that green. Just to add a little bit more colour to it, and then dry again. And it's a case of just keep on building the colour up lightly in thin layers until you're happy with it. Okay, so I've turned it over, so that's the colour. So I've got some really nice kind of autumny colours on there. I'm just going to spritz with some clear water just on the back, just to kind of get it. See if we can try and even out that buckle. I've probably just made it worse. Nope, that has helped. Yep, that definitely has helped just to kind of iron out and straighten out that piece of card. Okay, so we can get rid of that now and have a quick, just a really, really quick wipe up of where we just went over the edge with those spritzers. Just use the same piece of kitchen roll, and then we can just remove that excess colour, and then we know we've got some clean kind of workspace. There you go. Perfect. So we're done with the colours. I'm trying to put a lid on one that's already got a lid on. So I can put those back in my little spritzer tub, ready to be put away, and then we can come back with the background and we're ready to chop this up. Okay, before I cut them up, I've decided I'm going to add a little bit of background stamping. So this was one of those stamp sets I got from Ian in that Happy Meal. So this one is just kind of like swirly kind of branches, nice little bit of background. So I've just taken those two and I've popped them onto little blocks. I've got my vintage photo archival ink, and I'm just going to go over and I'm going to go around stamping just randomly across the page. It might be very, very subtle, which I think it is just a little bit too subtle. So maybe I need to do ground espresso rather than vintage photo. Let's see how that plays out. That looks like it's going to be a little bit darker. Let's see, because you can't really see that one, it's probably fine to go over the top. much better. There you go. So what I'm going to do is just go around and stamp just like that. And I'm not particularly too bothered if I don't get the perfect impression. Yeah, let's just carry on. I'm going to go all over. I might even not end up using that smaller one, because actually I kind of like the shape on this one. I have no idea where this stamp set came from, so I can't tell you. It was, like I said, it was given to Ian and myself in Happy Mail, and there was no maker's mark on it or anything, but judging by the size of the set, I think this was a freebie with a magazine. You get, you occasionally get magazines that have got like free gifts with them, and I think this was probably one of those. In fact, both of the stamp sets are probably one of those. And I like in this pattern because you can turn it and twist it, and you get kind of nice pattern from it. I think just that last one, I think I'll just take that off the corner. About there. So I think with that one, I'm going to introduce just a tad of green. So this is the peel paint. And let's just see whether we can go in and fill in some of those areas. Just overlap a little bit. There. So we've got a nice kind of, just see if we can get a little bit in that bit there as well. Yeah, so we've got a nice kind of background just using those stamps. So now I can come in and I can cut them down. So 2.5. And then do 3.5. So that then will give me 3 at 3.5. Okay, so I've now got 6 different backgrounds, similar but not the same. So each one totally different and unique, but definitely part of a set. So on to the next step. Okay, so the next step is I have those leaf stamps already attached to my stamp platform. This time I'm going to use Jet Black Stays On, and I'm going to ink up 5 stamps. And I'm going to have to do this more than once because I've got 6 backgrounds and I've only got 5 stamps, so I probably will end up maybe do those 2 small ones, or I may do it multiple times. Okay, again, mixed media cardstock. Look at those leaves, aren't they lovely? Really, really nice designs, and I can just go back over a couple of times just to make sure I've got a decent impression. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just put a piece of kitchen roll down, take off that piece of cardstock, and then just take up any excess ink. There we go. So there's not a lot. And then I'm just going to reposition the stamps. So again, this time let's put them there, 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 there. Oh. And there. Pick them up with the platform, and then we can do it again. Don't forget, if you don't get a perfect impression the first time, don't worry. With the stamp platform, you can just go back again because your stamps aren't going to move, your paper's not going to move. So you'll end up with a perfect impression again. Just a little bit around that one there seems to be, it's not picking up. Or it's probably just me. That's better. Much better. Okay. So let's take that off. And I can clean those up later on. I'll just put that piece of kitchen roll back down just to stop that platform from getting grungy. So on here, again, what we can do is grab some more kitchen roll. A couple of sheets should do it. It's a good job this stuff is biodegradable because I go through lots. Okay, and then I'm going to grab yellow again. Okay, dry it off. Okay, so the lemon's now dry, so I want to go with a little bit of a darker colour this time. So I'm trying to find my yellow ochre. Give that a shake. And then just lightly go over. That's inching its way up again. Look. Okay, so that yellow ochre is dry. A bit too subtle. So again, I'm going to come back in with a little bit of the red, again from a bit of a high altitude. That's better. That's more of what I was looking for. Okay, that's pretty much it. I just flipped it over and just dried it off on the back. And then I can just mop up any of that excess. Excuse the knocking noise. Okay, so I can now cut out these leaf shapes. But I don't have to be perfect or exact. Just as long as you pretty much get the shape, you can leave just a little bit of a border because you've got your colour around the outside now. That's going to kind of disguise any mishaps you might have with your scissors. Just like that. So I'm going to cut the rest of these leaves out and then I'll be back with you when I've got them all cut. All of my leaves are now cut out, and the eagle eye amongst you and those that are kind of quick with their adding up will be able to work out that there are more than 10 there. I realised that while I was doing or cutting out the leaves, I wasn't going to have enough to do all 6, because if I put 2 on each one, I'm going to need at least 12. So I just did a quick another set. So there's actually 15 there now, so there's plenty to go around on all 6 of the ATCs. So the next thing I want to do is just to go around the edges with a little vintage photo distressing, but also while I'm adding a little bit of the brown in there, just to kind of grunge up the edges, I'm also going to add in a little bit of that peeled paint. So because sometimes when you get autumn leaves, you still get bits of green. So some of them I'm going to add green onto, and some of them I'm going to go in with the brown, and some I'm probably going to end up with both on. Okay, so I'm just going to continue to go all the way around. Mr. Bentley's just come back from his walk, so I can just hear him emptying the contents of his food dish downstairs, so he may pop up in a second just to say hello, as he normally does when he comes back from his walk. Done that one already, haven't I? So, like I said, I'm going to carry on going around each one of these leaves, just adding in a little bit of that brown and just a hint of the green, which is working pretty well. And then when I finish this lot, I'll be back. Now that all my leaves are done, I just want to quickly go around each of the edges of the bases, just adding a little bit of a darkened border all the way around all 6. So I will carry on doing those, and then when I've done everything and I'm ready to assemble, I'll be right back. So all 6 of my backgrounds are done, but what I want to do is I just want to add a little bit of mottling and ghosting to those. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over the top and just spritz a little bit of water. Now this won't affect the green and brown archival where I've done the leaf shapes. It will only affect the background colours because they're water based, whereas the swirly leaves and the branches are solvent based, so it won't affect those at all. So I'm just going to leave it for a second. Now I can start to see that they are lifting up a little bit, which is cool. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll my roll of kitchen paper or kitchen towels over the top. Now can you see where it started to line up over each one? So you're getting a little bit more of a variation in colour tone, and you can see where it's all come off on the kitchen towel. So I'm just going to open that up again, and I'm going to do it once more. I'll leave it for a second or two. Let it soak in. Just let it activate. And then we'll just roll over the top once more. There we go. And that should take off any excess water and just gives us a little bit more detail in the background. So again, I'll need just to get those dried off before we go any further. Okay, so I've gone around each one of the cards with that distressing. I've also printed out the backs for my artist trading card, which I've filled in. These just now won't stick into the back of the card before I embellish. And I've already done the others, so now there is a definite right way up for these things now. So I'm just using dry glue. So this is just an Elmer's Extreme glue stick, which is just ideal for this kind of project. I'll just drop that down. There we go. So that's all of the cards with their backs on. Put that away. So I'll just quickly show you. So we've got that lovely dry mottling. Card number 1, 1 of 6. Card number 2, 2 of 6. So each one is now numbered individually because each one is an individual design. They're all different. No two are the same. They might be a little bit similar, but not quite the same because of the background and the colours that are on there. So all I want to do now is bring those leaves back in. And I'm just going to put those backgrounds to one side. And I'm going to just lay them all out like so. There we go. Not every single one of these leaves are going to get used, or I might use them all up. I might use 3 on 1 or whatever. Because there's one last thing that I want to do to these leaves before I stick them on the front of those cards. So the last thing I want to do is just to add some gold splatters onto the leaves. So all I'm going to do, just make sure that they're in total focus there. There we go. You're a little bit out. Is just add a little bit of gold paint. This is Dina Wakley Media Gilt. And a little bit of water. Just move that one to one side. And I'm going to mix the paint with the water just to get it a little bit runny. Make sure I get all of it. And then I can just add some splatters of gold onto each leaf. Which will just add a few little subtle, kind of like jewels. Just mix it a bit more. That's better. So just a few hints of glint on there. So I'll get those dried very carefully because I don't want them blowing away, and I'll be back. Okay, so the gold has dried on the leaves. You can just about see there's a little bit of shine on there. It's not as much gilt, not as much metallic pigment in those paint or Dina Wakley paint as I thought there was going to be. So, but never mind. So what I'm going to do is I'm just putting a foam pad on the back of each of those leaves just to raise it slightly off. These are kind of sticky foam, very, very sticky foam pads. So it goes that way, so I'm going to put that one just like that. So a couple of nice, shiny autumn leaves onto the background. I'm going to do the same for each one. So I will speed through, put it on fast forward, put some music on and join you when all 6 are complete. I'm just going to make sure that I've also got them the right way up. I don't want to be putting my leaves upside down. So that's all my leaves stuck down, but just to finish off, I've got some glossy accents and I'm just going to put one blob, or maybe just a couple, of dewdrops on each one. Yeah. Just a subtle little jewelly highlight. So once they're dry, I'll be back to show you how they've turned out. So it's been about half an hour since I let these dry. So if I just lift up, you can see now just the shine there. And then you've got like little dewdrops just on those leaves. It's very, very subtle. But you can probably just see them there. And if I don't know whether I can turn it round so you can just see them on there as well. So tiny little jewels just sitting there on those leaves. Very, very subtle, but kind of nice as well because they do catch the light. What I want to do just to finish off, and I've already done this one, is just go all the way around the outside, just adding in some faux stitching just with a black pen, just to kind of finish off, give it a little bit of a border all the way around. So I will carry on with doing all this stitching on each one of the cards, and then I'll join you again when all 6 are done. All 6 of my little ATCs have now got that faux stitching all the way around the outside, and I think I'm going to call these done. I could carry on embellishing these for ages. They're just one of those type of designs where you could carry on adding bits and pieces to them, but I think I'm going to stop where I am there, because otherwise this video is going to be over an hour long and we don't want that. So or perhaps we do, I don't know. So yeah, so at this time of year, when we're getting towards October, the beginning of October, summer is almost at an end and autumn is just about to begin. It's nice to switch from bright colours to these kind of warm autumnal colours that remind us of firesides and cosy evenings in with comfort food. Or it does me anyway. So yeah, so I like to use these kind of colours at this time of year because it just makes me feel warm and fuzzy on the inside, and I hope it does you too. So I hope you've enjoyed watching me create these artist trading cards. If you have, please remember to give the video a thumbs up, share the video with your friends, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel already, you can do so by clicking the button at the end of the video. That's all from me for now. I'll be back again on Saturday with the start of my 7 days of Halloween. See you then. I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, because without you, these videos would not be possible. Thank you.